Our next presenter is well known to all of us as the Auditor General of Pennsylvania. In an era of politicians taking selfies, he's someone that just goes to work each day. In an era of politicians overpromising and underperforming, he and his team get the job done. He promised when he was a candidate that he would take the job seriously and bring his expertise. We are fortunate as taxpayers, we're fortunate as citizens to actually have an Auditor General that knows how to conduct an audit, that can look at a balance sheet, that can look at programs, know where the waste and the fraud and the mismanagement's happening, and know when things are going right. We're happy to have back someone who's been with us many times, a man of public service, a dad and a husband, a man of integrity, character, and a commitment to public service, our friend, the Auditor General of Pennsylvania, the Honorable Tim DeFoor.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's good to be back. So I was talking to Guy backstage a little while ago, and he asked me what my first car was. And it was a 1981 Ford Escort. And every weekend after I would wash it, I would find a nut or a bolt on the floor. Needless to say, I didn't have that car very long. But it's great to be back. It's great to be here at the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. This conference has become one of the most important gatherings in the Commonwealth, and I am honored to join you here today. I want to talk briefly about something that sometimes gets lost in today's political environment, and that's integrity. If you've ever visited my office and looked out the windows, you see that I have two very different views. One view is of the Capitol building. The other is of a neighborhood where many residents live below the poverty line. And after looking through those windows, I'm reminded of three things: to do my job the way it was intended to be done, to be a leader with a steady and calm temperament, and never, ever forget who I serve. Because today, if you turn on the news, scroll through social media, you'll often find it's the loudest voices that get the most attention. And to some of these, integrity is defined as scoring points, not solving problems. That's not how I define integrity. I've always felt integrity stood for something more. To me, it stands for morals, it stands for ethics, and honesty. It means to be responsible for our communities and to our families. And it means for us elected officials, it means being honest and faithful to the oath that we took. It's not a behavior, it's a belief. It shows what we do and how we act towards the people who depend on us. That's exactly why the department that I lead exists. My department audits state agencies, school districts, municipalities, and programs funded with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. We produce over 3,700 audits a year. And I promise you that every single audit we release will be a quality and useful audit, explaining, sometimes in very great detail, how your tax dollars are spent. Our audits are based on facts, and they are meant to serve the people of Pennsylvania by improving government, not by tearing it down. As Pennsylvania Auditor General, my job is simple in theory, and that is to follow state taxpayer dollars and find out what the state government did with it. Because that money came from the people of Pennsylvania. It came from the small business owner trying to meet payroll, the family that is working to make ends meet, and retirees living on a fixed income. And when government wastes taxpayer dollars, it's not just it's not just money on a spreadsheet. It's somebody's hard-earned working money that came out of their paycheck and out of their bank accounts. That's why taxpayers deserve transparency and they deserve accountability. When we talk about accountability, we are really talking about living up to the promises we make on the campaign trail, because integrity demands that our actions match our words. The Pennsylvania Auditor General plays an important role in that process. Now, we don't make laws and we do not set tax rates. But once taxpayer dollars enter government, someone has to make sure that those tax dollars are being used responsibly. It's common sense. But that means that we have to ask tough questions. We have to identify waste. And it often means telling people things that they may not want to hear. When it comes to taxpayer dollars, remember one thing. Money isn't red dollars. Money isn't blue dollars. Money's green. And it came from hardworking Pennsylvanians. And protecting taxpayer dollars should always be a priority, whether you're an elected official or not. That's why integrity matters. It's our responsibility to earn the trust of the people who rely on us, not the other way around. It's being careful with government resources because people depend on them and they must be preserved. Holding government accountable doesn't require us getting angry. It requires professionalism, common sense, and a steady and calm temperament. And in return, the people will have a government that they can trust to make decisions based on their needs, not the other way around. Because when people trust the process, they trust the results. And when citizens trust their institutions of government, our democracy becomes stronger. I believe we should carry that same mindset into our leadership. I believe in a government that stays focused on its core responsibilities. That's what I promised you when I ran for Auditor General. And I believe in a government that empowers families, communities, and ensures the future of government in helping prepare the next generation. Those principles have helped build the prosperity and the freedoms that define this country. And if we want the next generation to embrace these ideas, we must demonstrate the kind of leadership that earns their respect. Leadership that is principled, disciplined, civil, and sometimes just damn hard. Because at the end of the day, Pennsylvanians aren't looking for political theater. They're looking for results. And I would argue that people don't expect perfection, but they do expect honesty. That's the standard I try to uphold every day as your Pennsylvania Auditor General. It's the kind of leadership I believe Pennsylvanians should continue to champion. And I'll leave you with this. We are a reflection of our communities. And when we look into that reflection, what do we see? God bless you. Thank you for everything that you do for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Enjoy the rest of the conference.